So MVP of the second round of the NBL. How do you feel? Did it mean something to you?
It meant a lot because it was a big win for us. It capped off a three-game winning streak, and on top of that, it just it showed the fight we had, and so getting MVP just it meant that not only did I perform well, but my teammates put me in position to perform well as well.
Tell us who is Джейлън Дженкинс? Where do you come from? That's your second pro year.
So Jalen Jenkins is a kid from Brooklyn, New York. Last year I started out in Iceland. I finished up in Sweden, and then while I was home, I was just asking my agent, what's the best spot for me to probably develop my game and find a good fit for me, and he recommended me to Rilski Sporters.
So, what did your family say, for example, when you told them I'm going to some place called Samokov in Bulgaria?
Honestly, none of us knew where it was, but we Googled it, so we found out little facts about the town, and we all knew it would be an adjustment for me coming from New York City all the way, up to the mountains.
Tell us about your college life and your first year.
College life was fun. Had a good year, especially my last year. I scored over 1,000 points, over 700 rebounds, so college was pretty successful. And then my first year in Europe was an adjustment process, going from Iceland to Sweden, two very cold countries, but two very different styles of basketball. But I had to say I enjoyed it a lot and I learned.
Do you consider Rilski Sportis or Samokov like a trampoline to something big? Lots of players actually have played here and then went to bigger.
Absolutely. That's one thing that I talked about with my agent and with the coaches as well. Also with other players who play on the team and they play other places. So I've heard that and for me it just seems like a great opportunity.
What do you want people in Bulgaria to know about you? You want them to see you. When they think about Jalen Jenkins, what do you?
Good guy, fun to watch on the court, plays hard, and he's good throughout the community.
You look like actually having fun on the court in the games I've seen so far. You always try to have fun, to smile. You encourage your team.
Absolutely, because sometimes you're gonna have games like this where you lose by 20. You're gonna have games where you win by 20. But as long as you have the passion, the love for the sport, and you can smile throughout it, then it makes it a little easier. So I always try to encourage my teammates, make sure that they're having a good time, because at the end of the day, it's a game. Some people get paid for it, some people don't, but either way, it's still a game, and you should always have fun playing games.
What's the best basketball story you had so far? Not just in Bulgaria, but in your life, what's the best basketball story?
Best basketball story, I hit a buzzer beater from the free throw line, from the opposite free throw line in college. That's probably the best story I have. Yeah, it was a buzzer beater for game. That was the best one.
You're also playing in Europe, not just in ABL. Do you think that maybe you got lucky actually to go into group stage, but do you have some chances to going forward?
I think we do. It just depends on the adjustments we make. A night like tonight, the other team was more prepared than us. So going into every other game, we got to make sure that we put forth the effort to be twice as prepared as the next team, because we might be smaller or we might be a little slower. So we got to just prepare more.
Did you glue with the team already? You have more Americans on the roster, that probably helps, but coach is also really oriented to accept everybody on the team, make you feel accepted.
Yeah. Everybody on the team did a great job of just welcoming us, especially the two new guys, me and Arthur, being new players. They welcomed us with open arms, what I'm saying? And even on the court, they let us play. There's no tension, so they let us play free. So it's really actually a good fit.
What's the weirdest thing you've come across in Bulgaria?
The weirdest thing I've come across in Bulgaria so far, I think might be sheeps and fox on the highway. That might be the weirdest thing.
How do you feel see people in Samokov? It's really small, but everybody seems to love us.
Yeah, it's a great little town, especially being on the Rilski team. People are going to know who you are just walking around. So, they might look at you once or twice, some wave, some smile. Some even come up and talk and say, we'll be at the game tonight. So it's a nice town.
Last thing, what's the biggest adjustments you've made from the US coming to Europe, Pro Bowl?
The biggest adjustment is food, honestly. Food, we don't have the same restaurants, but coming out here just trying to find similar food to the States, and also trying to try new foods. I'm not a picky eater, but that's been the biggest adjustment.
Any particular food you liked in Bulgaria?
No, not gonna lie, not yet. I haven't found it yet. But I got about 8 more months, so I could find something.